You know that cat sitting in your living room? Right now, it's looking at a completely different world than you are. And I don't just mean a little different. I mean, it's practically an alien planet. The vibrant colors you see? Nope, your cat doesn't see them. The tiny details you're focused on? Totally ignored. But the things your cat is locked onto, you probably can't even perceive them.
In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly what your cat sees. But fair warning, once you get this, you are never ever going to look at your pet the same way again. So let's just dive right in.
So, most of us just assume cats see the world kind of like we do, right? Well, they don't. Not even close. And here's the kicker that most people just don't get. Their eyes are fundamentally, physically built differently. We're talking different light receptors, different focal points, even their brain wiring is on another level. Your cat is processing reality in a way that our human brains, well, we literally can't even comprehend it.
All right, so today we're going to break down all of it. We'll look at their eye anatomy, how they see color, their sense of detail, and how their brain puts it all together. And I promise, by the end of this, you are going to understand your cat in a way you never thought possible.
Okay, get ready for this, because this is where it gets seriously mind-bending. Your cat might be staring right at your face, but they're not really seeing you, not in the way you think. To a cat, your face is, well, it's mostly a blur. All those fine details of your expression, gone. But if your hand so much as twitches a single millimeter, boom, they catch it instantly.
Now, hold on. This isn't bad eyesight. This is specialized eyesight. See, cats aren't built to read our facial expressions. They're built to hunt. You know that tiny mouse rustling in the bushes 30 feet away that you'd never spot? To your cat, it's in high definition. That is their superpower. And honestly, this one fact explains pretty much every single weird thing your cat does.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Why do cats see so differently? Well, it all starts with the shape of their pupils. We have round ones. Cats, they've got those cool vertical slits, and there's a really good reason for that. Cats are crepuscular hunters, meaning they're most active at dawn and dusk when light changes fast. Those vertical pupils can expand and contract way faster and wider than ours, giving them insane control over how much light gets in. Okay, next up is the retina. Inside your eye, you've got a ton of cone cells. They're amazing for seeing vibrant colors in bright daylight. A cat's retina? It's the complete opposite. It is absolutely packed with rod cells. And these rods are incredible at two things: detecting the slightest motion and seeing in super low light. The downside? They're pretty terrible with color. It's a massive, crucial trade-off: color vision for night vision. And this leads to one of their coolest features, the tapetum lucidum. You don't have this, but it's a reflective layer right behind their retina. Think of it like a built-in mirror. So when light enters their eye, it hits the retina, then bounces off this mirror and hits the retina a second time. It literally gives every particle of light a second chance to be seen. And yeah, this is exactly why their eyes seem to glow in the dark. That's the light bouncing right back out at you. You know, even the lens inside their eye is shaped differently. A cat's lens is optimized for one thing: tracking movement at mid-range. You know, the perfect pouncing distance. Our lenses are more general purpose, built for detail up close and far away. So when you add all these pieces together, it's pretty clear. Cats are experiencing a completely different visual reality. All right, let's throw some numbers out here to really nail this down. First up, visual acuity. Most humans have what we call 20/20 vision. That's our benchmark for clarity. Cats, they're closer to 2100. So what does that mean? It means something you can see clearly from 100 feet away, a cat would have to be just 20 feet away to see it with the same clarity. But remember, this isn't worse vision. Their detail vision is lower, sure, but their motion detection is, as we'll see, completely off the charts.
Okay, now this is wild. Let's talk about flicker fusion rate. This is a game changer. We humans process about 60 frames per second. That's why a movie or TV screen looks like smooth, continuous motion. Cats, on the other hand, can process over 100 frames per second. What that means is, when something zips by you and all you see is a blur, your cat sees every single frame of that movement. They are basically living life in slow motion compared to us.
And here's another advantage they have over us: field of view. You and I, we've got about 180 degrees of vision in front of us. A cat has a full 200 degrees. That extra bit on the sides gives them incredible peripheral vision, which is a huge bonus when you're both a hunter and something that could be hunted.
Okay, now for color. And this is where things get really strange. You see this beautiful full rainbow of colors? Cats, well, they mostly see a world of blues and yellows.
that bright red shirt you're wearing, to a cat, it just looks kind of brownish gray. The green grass outside, also brownish gray. They're basically red-green colorblind, so all that vibrant contrast we see just isn't there for them.
Think about this for a second. Imagine you throw a bright red toy onto a green lawn. For you, it pops. The color contrast is super obvious. But when your cat looks at that exact same scene, they see a grayish-brown toy on a grayish-brown background. For them, that contrast we see, it's just gone.
But their world isn't totally washed out. It's not all gray. Because, as you can see, a bright blue or a vibrant yellow toy would totally stand out. They have pretty good blue and yellow vision, so those are really the star colors in their world.
But wait, here's the truly insane part. Cats can see into the ultraviolet spectrum. What does that mean? It means they can see colors that literally do not exist for you. There are patterns on flowers and markings on birds that are completely invisible to us, but to a cat, they might as well be glowing neon signs. They are seeing a secret, hidden layer of reality all around us.
And this brings us back to motion, because this is where cats are just undisputed champions. You know when a bug zips across the room and it's so fast you can barely track it? Well, your cat sees that bug in perfect, crisp detail. It's like they have a built-in slow-motion camera. This is exactly why they can snatch a moth out of midair that you never even saw coming. They're not just quicker, they're perceiving time differently.
Their low-light vision is just as mind-blowing. Cats only need about 1/6 of the light that we do to see clearly. Thanks to all those rod cells and that light-reflecting mirror in their eyes, they are perfectly adapted for the twilight hours. While you're stumbling around in a dark room trying to find the light switch, they're navigating it with total confidence. So remember that super high flicker fusion rate we talked about? Well, here's a weird side effect. An older TV or an LED light that's flickering at 60 times a second looks like a solid, steady light source to you. But to your cat, they see every single flicker. To them, your screen might look like a non-stop strobe light, which has got to be pretty distracting, right?
Okay, let's put this all into a real-life situation. You're sitting in your living room, maybe scrolling on your phone, and your cat is just staring intently at a blank wall. What's going on? Well, they might be tracking a tiny spider you can't see, or even just a single particle of dust floating in a sunbeam. To you, there's nothing there. To their motion-sensitive eyes, it's the most fascinating show on Earth.
So, the really crucial thing to get is that our brains are just wired differently. As humans, we're social animals. We're programmed to look at faces, to read expressions. We instantly try to figure out if someone is happy, sad, angry. Our attention naturally gravitates to faces, to text, to the main subject in a scene. A cat's brain? Totally different operating system. When a cat looks at you, they're not trying to read your emotions. They're running a threat assessment. Their focus is on movement. Are your pupils dilated? What's your body language saying? They're not processing happy or sad. They're processing threat or no threat. For them, movement is priority number one. Everything else is just background noise.
And of course, all of this affects their depth perception. Our eyes face straight forward, which gives us amazing binocular vision for judging distances. A cat's eyes are set a bit wider on their head. This gives them that wider field of view we talked about, but it comes at the cost of some depth perception. They make up for it in other ways though, which is how they can still make those impossibly precise jumps.
So now, all that weird cat behavior starts to make perfect sense, doesn't it? When they're staring at an empty wall, they're not seeing ghosts, they're tracking a tiny insect or a shifting shadow you can't even see. Those random midnight zoomies, they probably just spotted some micro-movement and their predator brain instantly kicked into high gear. And when they seem to be ignoring you, it's probably not personal. It's just that from their point of view, that tiny dust bunny under the couch is way more interesting than you are right now.
So, how can you use all this knowledge? Well, here's a super practical tip. Next time you buy cat toys, pick blue or yellow ones. Ditch the red and green. Why? Because as we now know, blue and yellow are the colors that really pop for them. That red mouse toy on your beige carpet, it's basically camouflage.
And when you're playing with them, remember their slow motion vision. That fast, predictable back and forth you're doing, it's okay, but it's not great. To really get them going, you need to mimic prey. Use jerky, unpredictable movements. Stop and start. Vary the speed. That's what's going to trigger their hunting instincts.
Here's another thing. Think about the lighting in your home. We tend to like bright, well-lit rooms, but for an animal with eyes this sensitive to light, that can actually be pretty uncomfortable. Cats are often way more relaxed and active in dimmer, warmer light.
So if your cat seems a bit on edge, try turning down the lights. It might make a world of difference. You know, the thing that really gets me is that you and your cat are living in the same house, but in two completely separate realities. As the sun sets and your world shrinks into small pools of light, their world opens up and comes alive. That dark hallway you might hesitate to walk down, for them, that's their kingdom. In the dark, you're the one at a disadvantage. They're perfectly, totally in their element.
So, the next time you look at your cat, I want you to remember this. They have actual superpowers that we can only dream of. They see in the dark, they perceive motion in slow motion, and they see colors we can't even imagine. Your cat isn't being weird. They're just perfectly adapted to their own unique visual world. And once you start to see things from their perspective, everything they do just clicks.
So I have to ask, what's one weird thing your cat does that, after watching this, finally makes perfect sense? Drop it in the comments below. I really want to hear your stories. And hey, if this helped you understand your furry friend a little better, make sure you subscribe for more deep dives like this. You now understand your cat's world better than almost anyone else out there.